Welcome, everybody, to the Genesis Mindset. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about updates in the Atropa ecosystem. So, all I'm doing is I'm covering the cycle stage that I feel we are at in the Atropa ecosystem and whether now is a good time to buy or whether we should have patience and wait for better buy opportunities. I'm also going to be exploring how powerful we actually are doing within the Atropa ecosystem, that everything is really playing out as we anticipated in regards to the liquidity bonding and the liquidity burning. The system seems to be working perfectly. So we're also going to have a look at other opportunities in the Atropa ecosystem. So with that, let us actually get to the share screen. So first of all, I have been sharing this image for quite some time. So basically, probably from around December-ish, January-ish, I kind of figured out this cycle that was happening within the Atropa ecosystem. Well, not really figured it out. I just observed, okay, we had this up momentum where, okay, Pulsechain launch, basically we had a bull and it was up. So it was an upward trajectory. So at the moment, this is in comparison to the US, to the US dollar, by the way. So essentially, we had 110 days. So basically 3 months of upward momentum. Ooh, almost your boy's birthday. And then we had like an Atropa bear market, which lasted for about 2 months, so just over 2 months. And then there was a reversal. So it depends where you draw it, where the bottom is. So I've got the bottom there. It could be there as well because that's where the actual reversal was. But in any case, it's about 2.5 months, and we've been up all the way then. Then when pDAI was very close to the 1 cent mark, I made the call in some of the groups that I was in. Oh, I didn't make the call like, oh, I'm some genius. I just kind of anticipated, well, we've almost hit that 1 cent mark. This is a key critical point for the Atropa ecosystem. I think there's going to be a pullback. What I was anticipating a big pullback. So right here, we've got this big pullback that happened here where it was about 90% of a dip. Now, whether that was the peak or whether this is sideways, for me, simply because it hasn't kept trending up and it really has gone sideways and down, I'm feeling like we are in the 4th stage of the Atropa ecosystem. So the first stage was a bull, the second stage was a bear, the third stage was a bull, and now the 4th stage, we are in a bear. Now, what I'm noticing is how well it's holding up. So from the top, we've had such a tiny, tiny little dip, 50%. So we've had a 50% dip. So if we zoom in here, I'll lock that up to here. We've had about a 50% dip, which is absolutely, quite frankly, jack shit. So it's nothing. So 52% dip. Now, it could continue to dip further. Usually, we do see, yeah, my favorite, so I don't have to find it. All right, so usually we do dip to like, we usually get, in markets, we usually get like a 70% dip. We also might, this is what I hope for. A lot of people kind of get peed off hearing these sorts of things, but this is what I actually look for. I look for like deep pullbacks. This is where I want to be buying. You don't want to be buying up here. You want to be buying down here. So where's my 90%? So now if we zoom out and if we draw some major kind of trend lines, or again, magnets, what Moon King calls them, you could say this 70% area, this was a key area where it wicked up here and it stagnated here and it bounced off here. It's debatable how powerful these magnets are for this particular ecosystem. And then we've got this one here as well, where it was really struggling to push through here. So this is what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for it to get down to here, but it's really not looking like it is. If we look at how it actually dipped, when it first started to dip, it dipped radically. But I think if you really consider market mindset, people had a massive run up. Atropa was really nothing at the time. It had a massive run up. Of course, people are going to take profit. So then we had relatively a savage drop. What we're actually witnessing now, first, it was more of a sideways momentum, continued accumulation. So back into the charts, it was very sideways here at this top. The market was undecided. Are we going up? Are we going down? Is it the top? Is it the local top? Is it going to continue to drop? What does this tell me? It tells me that the market has a lot of confidence in the Atropa ecosystem. I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to sell. And I certainly don't want to be selling down here on a dip. I don't want to be selling on a 50% dip. Having said that, if I do see it start to go up again, I'm going to be very hard pressed to want to sell, because it's like, could it break out? Are we really in a bear, or is it continued bullishness? Because again, this is just based on the past. I can't conclusively say that it is a bull or a bear. But the very fact that it's essentially been the same amount of time, 110 days, and this one was 118 days, or really, if you take it from here where I originally had it, it's 114 days. So very, very similar upward momentum bull market. So are we in a bear market? Very interesting to note. Now, there is a big event coming up. So one of the things that actually really pushed the Atropa ecosystem here was Maria coming out and doxing themselves and revealing themselves, and it gave a lot of confidence to the market. We have the Pulsechain conference. KSBTV are going to be there. Maria is also going to be there, and I think that's on the 18th of June. So if that is on the 18th of June, there's no promises here. There's no, okay, it's definitely going to start going up there, but it's going to be around about the same amount of time. So 88 days bear, and then that would be around about, well, that's 73 days. So it would be around about 80 days bear. So it really looks like, that is looking like where it could do a push off, because if Maria comes out, starts explaining to the market, gives more confidence to the market, what is the Atropa ecosystem from the person who's actually designed it, and goes more in depth in it, it's going to give people more confidence. And this, in my opinion, is the market's response to the confidence. This here is the market saying we're confident in the Atropa ecosystem, the fact that it's not dipping so much. Again, nobody wants to sell. I don't want to sell. Do you guys want to sell? Think about it. I'm actually asking you a genuine question. Please leave in the description. Do you want to sell, or do you want to continue to accumulate? Do you believe in the long-term power of the Atropa ecosystem? I do. I believe it's going to be a core blue chip in the future. I believe, well, I'm very hopeful in the pDAI narrative. I'm very hopeful in the pStables narrative. We've also now got PLUSD. Things are really kicking off in Pulsechain. Having said that, the narrative has really shifted. So it was from Atropa, we almost got that 1 cent. And now the focus has really shifted to the Tang Gang. So the Tang Gang has got all the momentum, they've got all the narrative, they've got all the hype, which is really good to see. We don't want just one ecosystem and everybody just comes for one thing in the city. Not everybody likes to go to cities to go to explore buildings. People like to go to museums. People like to go to nightclubs. If you want the museums, if you want the nightclubs, you go to the Tang Gang. You want to start some fights, get in some brawls, you go to the Tang Gang. So it's really good to see that the Tang Gang are actually pumping at the moment. It means that this ecosystem is really healthy. It's really alive. We've also got GIF. We've also got Rob. We've also got PTGC rather. And also I'll be doing a chat with Coach X tomorrow and I'm sure we'll be discussing PTGC and some of those latest changes, because I'm also very interested in what those latest changes are going to be. So this is very good. To me, I couldn't be more bullish. The only thing that I wish is that we actually did have more of a dip, so I could actually accumulate more with some of my ink yield that I've converted into Pulsechain. Now, let's actually look at this, whether or not it is a good time to buy. So now this is to Pulsechain. So obviously we've got Pulsechain here. And again, it's really looking like it's locked into this inverse relationship at the moment. So we've got Atropa going up against Pulse, and we've got Pulse going down against DAI. So there's really an inverse relationship at the moment, which is very clear to see. So what does this actually mean? How much lower can Pulsechain actually go? Even this little, you see these little wicks here, it causes an upshoot in the Atropa ecosystem. How much lower can it go? If we start to see that this starts to go up, you don't want to be caught out. If this starts to go up, this is going to start to come down. And this is really what I'm hoping for. I'm really hoping to see something like this, where we will see some 90% dips, some 70 to 90% dips, so I can accumulate more as the value of my Pulsechain goes up against Atropa. That's exactly what I personally want to see. That's what I'm hoping for. And I'm hoping that will go for about a month. And then we have the Maria interview at the Pulsechain conference in Amsterdam. And then from there, hopefully from there, then again, we start to see a pump. We start to see an accumulation back into the Atropa ecosystem from there. And then hopefully all-time highs. That's what I'm hoping for. So that's what I'm seeing. So in that sense, honestly speaking, I don't feel like it's a good time to buy, but I'm looking for extreme value. Having said that, if you are in a DCA, then you don't really consider these things. It depends what your strategy is. If your strategy is just accumulate, so my boy Muddy was DCAing Pulsechain. He feels like he's got enough Pulsechain now. He just wants to DCA into Atropa, pDAI, and Teddy Bear, into the core coins with Atropa ecosystem. And again, shout out to Muddy. Muddy was actually the one that introduced me to this. One day I am going to have Muddy on here, an interview with Muddy, because we actually have a Fibonacci fund together. So it's a little bit of fun, but the Fib Fund, he ended up putting a little bit of our money. We had all our money in Hex and Pulsechain. I onboarded them into Hex and Pulsechain, my boys. And then he put a little bit of money into pDAI, Atropa, and we've got a good amount of pDAI and Atropa from like a very small portion of our fund. Like it's a tiny fund. Like I think it was a few $100, maybe up to 1,000. I don't know, very small. But the Atropa, the pDAI is like, it's the bulk of our portfolio now. We put in such a small amount because he really saw this before me, and he was really telling me about it. He's like, you gotta listen to this, you gotta listen to this. And I was like, no. I was really shut off to the world because I was fixed. This is also a very good lesson with your mindset. If you're fixed, if your mind is fixed, part of my plan is to be adaptive and listen to the world. My mind was fixed. No, it's just Pulsechain. I have to accumulate the core coins. But the world kept coming to me, and the world kept coming to me and showing me what is actually out there. Now, if you resist, if there's a sense of resistance in your mind, which there was in my mind, there was a sense of resistance, I pushed it away, I rejected it. And the mind errs towards negativity when it doesn't understand something. It's a negativity bias. So I pushed it away. What should I have done? If I had a more fluid mind, as fluid as my mind is, and adaptive as it is, and accepting as it is, if it was even more so, I would have accepted that and said, you know what, Muddy Waters, you're right. I could just put a little bit of my Pulsechain into that, and I'd be smooth sailing. I would be smooth sailing, but I ended up not doing that, and I waited too long. I did my research, and then I bought, so I waited way too long. So that's a very good lesson for the mindset, in my opinion. Right. Now, what kind of opportunities have we got on Pulsechain? Yes, on Pulsechain with the Atropa ecosystem. So looking at all these, I mean, man, look at this. Look at so this is 3-day, this is pDAI. Look at this trend, man. I don't know if I think I saw maybe Moon King post this massive trend, and I was like, holy shit, I've never seen that before. That is brilliant. So Moon King posted this for pDAI. Yeah, man, look at that. Look at that. That's nuts. That's nuts. That's look how good that is, man. pDAI, what a and he was predicting that about, I don't know if this was in the subscriptions. I don't know if I should say this or not. I don't know if it was in the subscribers, because I'm a subscriber to the Moon King, and I have to say, no affiliation or anything like that, but extreme value for I'm shilling his thing, but for $9.99, like I basically made all that money within the first couple of days, like times 20. So I have no concern, and I'm just learning the alpha, and I want to learn his mindset. I want to absorb his mindset, because he made a tweet today as well where 2018, he got wrecked and nobody cared. And it's true. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares if you fail. People only care about the results. He got wrecked in 2018, but he stuck with it. And a guy like that who is very successful in sports, he had a successful wrestling career, obviously he's very successful in cryptocurrency. Those are the kinds of people that you want to emulate. There's something in their mind that actually makes them the way that they are. Those are the people that I want to be surrounding myself with. So when I saw that, man, just Moon King is, I always boast about Moon King, but he's awesome. He's really awesome. And I love it's just a lot of value. And it's like, it's funny because it's like when someone's on quote unquote on your team, you really like them. And this is the way that the Tang Gang feel about their guys as well. They'll find funny, like all the people who give shit funny. And it's the same, like with Moon King. I think, yeah, I don't necessarily find all of it funny. I think, oh, that's a bit harsh. You shouldn't say that, but it's all like an act. But in any case, look at this, man. Look at this for pDAI. That's just, so he's saying, my apologies, Moon King, if I did say this, but, well, it's not going to do that. But he's saying, well, actually, let's do this. What actually happens, and a lot of this kind of TA is modeled off how Moon King does his TA. So let's say it comes down to here, which is a magnet. and then it shoots back up here, and then it kind of bounces up here and it gets to the $1 mark. That would be epic. That would be epic. And he was saying in about Q3. So boy, oh boy, if you put that, maybe this is where his prediction comes from. In any case, what I'm hoping for is a nice dip down to this magnet. Oh, that's what I'm really hoping for. Because I don't have a milli pDAI, I did accumulate some. So this would be a 70% drop. That's against Pulsechain. That's against USD. And it's very, very plausible, just for the record. It's very, very plausible. Let's put this on the 3-day. See, I don't have the, but in any case, a nice dip. Yeah, I mean, it's very plausible. It would, if it comes down to about here, if Pulsechain starts to boom, then it will come down to about here. So it's plausible. That's my hope. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm hoping for. So that's pDAI. So pDAI, in my opinion, not necessarily a buy, but if you do want some, I would accumulate some. So I have actually put some in, but I've got a big chunk in reserve, hoping for another dip. Now, Teddy Bear, same deal. Teddy Bear, they're all moving. This is the beauty of the liquidity bonding. They're all moving essentially the same. So Teddy Bear, a nice little dip buying opportunity here. So this is to pop, that's to USD. Again, to Pulsechain. If Pulsechain starts going up, then these are all going to start coming down and they're all going to get into areas of value. So, I mean, they've all broken the all-time high to Pulsechain. Oh, this hasn't. So Teddy Bear hasn't broken. I thought Teddy Bear did against Pulsechain break the all-time high. So either way, if we get like a nice little dip, a nice little cheeky dip. So at the moment it's dipped 22%. If it comes down to here, this is my hope. If it comes down to here, or better yet, I don't see it coming down to here. Now, the reason why I don't see it coming down to here, if you've been paying attention to everything that's happening in the Atropa ecosystem, this is a flaw. Let me actually add one more thing to my little toolbox in the bottom there, my little boxy box. Here we go, my little cute little box. So this was a flaw created by the liquidity burning and bonding. So because the liquidity in Teddy Bear was burnt, which means the supply was converted from sell pressure into buy pressure, it created a forever flaw. This was one of the theses of the Atropa ecosystem. The same thing I would imagine is going to happen. There's going to be some kind of a flaw. Where that flaw is, we don't know, but there is going to be some kind of a flaw created by the burnt liquidity. So again, hoping for a boom in Pulsechain. All it's going to take is for a couple of whales to start taking some big profits and rolling it into Pulsechain. So that's all it's going to take. So Teddy Bear, again, sitting on the sidelines, waiting for a better opportunity to do some more accumulating on Teddy Bear. What is there in the Atropa ecosystem that we can actually accumulate? Honestly, the best value ones are probably TSFI. Oh, whoa. Okay, TSFI, even TSFI is okay. Hey, TSFI's had a nice little cheeky little run too. Okay, so even TSFI, yeah, not really. It's in an uptrend. So whether you want to buy ups or downs, it's up to you. I prefer to buy it on a low. I do sometimes buy it on a high when I FOMO. This is a flaw of my mind, but this is something that I'm gradually trying to correct. This is the one. BFF. BFF, we're still aiming for that $8,000 mark. We still haven't achieved that goal. Oh, sorry about this. These charts are a little bit all over the place. So BFF, the very low of BFF was in the 1,000 region, so about the 1,500. So BFF, in my opinion, is a buy. But again, it depends what you're buying it with. If you're buying it with stablecoins, beautiful, perfect buy. If you're buying it with Pulsechain, not necessarily. But having said that, against Pulsechain, it's had a 50% dip off the top. 60% dip off the top. So BFF is a decent buy. I would, again, if I was loaded, I'd be scaling into BFF, but I'm not financial advice. So we've got TRSI as well. I love TRSI. Me and the the Fib Fund, me and the boys, we're actually going heavy into a liquidity pool. So we're experimenting. So we're going heavily into a liquidity pool because I bought a lot of TRSI from way back in the day. So when this actually got released, I bought tons of it. Pretty much bought the top. And then also I tried to scale down. So when it was really near the bottom, I started to accumulate more. So I've got a reasonable amount of TRSI. So we've actually created a liquidity pool where we're actually, I'm not going to tell you which liquidity pool that is because I don't want you guys to pump my bags, but we actually have created a liquidity pool where we're hoping, let's actually see what happens if we put a lot of value into this pool, if it's going to generate more volume, because TRSI is interconnected with so many tokens. So it's a really fascinating one, TRSI. It's also mintable, so it's really quite a fascinating, token. Okay, so TRSI. Then we have, so this one, this is one that I'm going to be playing on ratios. So Teddy Bear 9. Teddy Bear 9 plays a very special part in the Atropa ecosystem where you can conjure a Teddy Bear 9 with a whole bunch of different tokens, which at the moment, I don't think anybody can really afford with, except maybe Ben Potvin. Maybe he can afford it with the kind of tokens he has. But this is one where I'm looking at for ratio trades, Teddy Bear 9 to wrapped Bitcoin. So at the minute, if I was ratio trading, it's a pretty good ratio trade. I think I might have potentially, I think here I would have swapped I would have swapped one for the other. So at the moment, you want to be swapping, this always confuses me. So you want to be swapping Teddy Bear 9 for wrapped Bitcoin. And what we're hoping for is wrapped Bitcoin comes down here. So shout out to Sommi for this absolute alpha. Highest value content in all of cryptocurrency, like literally in all of cryptocurrency. He had a video today where he's like, yeah, he spends 18 hours a day, and he does, man. And he's like, most of the influence out there just spend 30 minutes. And I put my hand up and said, there's a lot of times that I do the same. And I thought, man, even if I was doing this full time, I don't think I'd be able to commit the amount of time that Sommi does. Like, it takes a certain level of passion for the market and a certain level of understanding to be able to put that time into it. I wouldn't be able to sit here for 18 hours a day watching cryptocurrency and learning and studying. So Sommi the GOAT. And yep, hello Sommi. He watches these videos and he comments, I love you, Sommi. All right. So because of the ratio trading, this is one of the ones that I'll be looking at to start playing ratios with wrapped Bitcoin and Teddy Bear 9, because if you can eventually get a full Teddy Bear 9, that would be amazing, because it's meant to have, or it's potentially going to have a big part in the game, in the layer 2 of the Atropa ecosystem. So yeah, but it's within a 50% range. So again, you can just very slowly sell your Teddy Bear 9 into wrapped Bitcoin. Comes down to here, what is it? It drops, even 30%, swap it back in. You don't have to get the full amount, even if you just keep slowly creeping up the bag. And whichever one you end up with, I think they're both going to be winners, wrapped Bitcoin or Teddy Bear 9. I think they're both going to be winners. So Mantissa as well. I play Mantissa in exactly the same fashion. So this is Mantissa to Pulsechain. Let's see if Mantissa to Pulsechain is good value. Again, not really. Not really. It hasn't had much of a dip off the top. I would again still be waiting for more of a dip. Man, Mantissa, I'd be paying attention to that one. Okay, let's actually leave it at that. So you guys know I'm a very genuine person, and one of the things that I want to be doing with the economic energy that I get from cryptocurrency is to make the world a better place. So I believe in meditation. I believe in wellness. I believe in, people will call me spiritual. I don't call myself spiritual. I don't call myself a meditator. I don't try to label myself as any of those things, but I'm passionate about those things. And I think it's going to make the world a better place. So one of the things that I have been doing is looking at, in the future, what am I going to be doing with this money? So I've been thinking about a wellness center, and I want to start designing as an architect and constructing one here in Brisbane. And then that's a prototype. So I want to integrate all different types of services and products all in one. So imagine like a shopping center, but for wellness. So it wouldn't have the same scale as a shopping center or a mall. Here in Australia, we have Westfield shopping centers. They're huge. It wouldn't be of that scale. It'd be much smaller. But it will be a place where I can go for all things related to wellness, health food shops, cafes, maybe gyms, saunas, cold plunges, meditation, cryotherapy, gut health, sleep coaches, yoga, all of these kind of activities, which actually promote your longevity. as well. So it's wellness, but it's longevity as well. And this is a big thing that I believe is going to be something in the future. People are going to be very, very interested in how can I actually squeeze out more life out of this life, more years out of this life. Scientifically proven is cold plunges. If you do cold plunges once a week, you will live longer. If you do saunas once a week, you will live longer. If you meditate and you clear your stress, you will live longer. If you take care of your body, you will live longer. So this is really the objective of the Wellness Center. So it's all about promoting wellness and longevity, which I think is going to be a massive trend in the future. So this is something that I'm very interested in. I've got this vision in my mind about what it's going to look like. Unfortunately, the AI doesn't really capture it, but you kind of get a sense for it. But either way, I'm actually looking for market research. So if anyone is interested in these types of things, there's 5 questions. I'm going to leave those 5 questions in the description below. And if you could just answer those 5 questions, if you could send me a DM on Twitter, that would be great. I pretty much follow everybody that follows me. So I am at Coexist Steven. So I'll leave that in the description. If you could just answer these 5 questions for me in as best as you can, even leave your age and your gender, I would really appreciate that. It's going to help me do market research, and I need market research in order to actually create a successful business. I don't want to be putting money into something and being like, yeah, this is going to work, but I actually haven't done the market research. I want to do this properly. I want to make it work. I want to help as many people as possible. So with that, thank you very much. Take care. We'll see you later.